You are listening to a Pet Radio podcast. My name is Robert Hudson, your host, and my guest today is Chelsea Merritt, the proud mom of Bean the cat. Welcome to the Pet Radio show, Chelsea.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Now, Bean has become rather famous on the internet as of late for his love of licking bananas, of all things.
I know.
Now, how did you first become aware of his love of bananas?
Well, I think he was probably between 6 and 9 months old, and I like to have bananas. And he's always been very curious, and he's my baby. So I raised him from birth. Mm-hmm. So I let him sniff the banana, and he just kind of went for it from there. And he never bites them. He only licks the bananas.
And you started taking pictures of it, and
I did.
It began to be noticed on the internet by various people, and even a couple of places like Bored Panda did a expose on you, and a couple of others, I think, too, right?
Yeah, and he's got a couple more that are going to be coming out in the next few days as well.
Oh my goodness! So quite the celebrity, and the pictures are just funny. It seems to be almost an orgasmic event for him or something. I mean, he's just...
So when I was doing that photo shoot, so I learned photography just because I have human kids, so I wanted to have pictures of them, and my girlfriend's a photographer. Mm-hmm. And then Bean is just so photogenic, so I end up taking more photos of him than anybody else. And I had found him a banana shirt at TJ Maxx, and I was so excited to have him wear his banana shirt and finally get some professional photos of him and his banana thing. And when I was editing them, I realized just how bad they looked, but how funny it was.
Wow.
So that was not the intention of those photos. They just kind of ended up turning out that way.
Now, were you surprised by the reaction they got on the internet? How all these other people seem to identify with it? I even read a couple of people say, "Oh yeah, my cat likes bananas too."
Yes, I saw a lot of those, and there was one girl, and they had featured her cat, who was also named Bean, on his Bored Panda post, and he had just passed away a couple weeks ago. She ended up commenting, which was pretty sad. But yeah, there was a lot of really cute things that people commented about their pets.
Wow, that's funny. Now,
he's quite the character.
You know that bananas aren't really good for cats to eat and digest or be part of their diet. Right?
He doesn't get banana very often. Maybe once a month, sometimes even less. And then he really doesn't even ingest that much. Usually I'll give him a couple licks off of a banana that I'm going to eat, and then I'll eat it, or I'll give some to the dog, because dogs generally like bananas too. But he doesn't ingest much at all.
So why do you think he enjoys licking them so much?
I'm not sure, because as far as I know, most cats don't like bananas, and they're not supposed to have a sense of, a taste of sweet. So I'm not sure what it is about it that he likes.
Wow. Well, it certainly caught the imagination of your fans on the internet that seem to really get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
Now, how did Bean come into your life? How did you and Bean meet?
So Bean was a bottle baby. Hi, honey. You're making sweet eyes at me. I know. So I was on Facebook, and I lived on a military base where we're at right now. My husband was deployed, and my kids both go to school full time. And I had seen a post about this little itty bitty baby whose mama had abandoned him in someone's yard who was just down the street from me. They'd been watching for her for a few hours, but it was starting to get dark out, and it was cold because it was April. And so I went and picked him up, and he was my first bottle baby. And he's been my little baby ever since.
Oh,
you going to come see Mama?
So he was a foster for you then? Is that right?
Yeah, I had intended on adopting him out. I did not intend on keeping him because we had 3 other cats.
So he's not your only cat in the household then?
No, he's not.
So how many other cats do you have?
Currently, we have 3 others. And they're different ages. Two of them we actually adopted when we lived in Germany, and they've kind of been all over with us across the country and overseas. And our oldest is going to be 10 years old this summer.
Oh. What would you say to someone who's considering fostering cats or kittens and has never done it before? Is it hard to let them go?
No, I've actually fostered and taken in many cats. Mm-hmm. And I found really great homes for all of them. The 4 that we have now are just honestly the only ones I've ever really wanted to keep, and they kind of picked me. But I mean, I'm pretty picky. That's why I don't go through a rescue organization. I just kind of do it out of my own pocket when I do, because I like to make sure it's going to be the right fit for the cat. So I usually have like a series of questions that I'll ask and make sure that it's going to be a good fit for that cat's personality too. But I love it, and I've ended up becoming pretty good friends with a lot of my adopters.
Oh, that's cool. And
then one of my last ones, a family friend of mine who's like my other mom, she's been in my life since I can remember. She adopted my last one, and I drove her 12 hours to her to Washington.
What have you learned through your experience in fostering cats and caring for these types of kittens before they find a new home? Has it left you? Has it given you any kind of different insight into the world of cats?
All cats are different. Some are more destructive. Some are pretty just chill. I would say before taking in any animal, just make sure that you're prepared for a worst case scenario. It's not always easy. And if you're doing it out of pocket, you need to make sure that you're going to be prepared for vet bills, because that can be a big thing.
Sure. All right. Well, what's in store for Bean on his Facebook and Instagram pages in the future here? What sort of adventures can we see from Bean coming up?
So, Bean, he likes to do all kinds of things. He likes to take little supervised walks and stuff outside. Right now, he's actually recovering. He injured his tail a few days ago, so he's in quarantine, and he's got the sad little cone of shame on. So he doesn't get to do too much right now.
Oh, I did see pictures of him with the cone on, and I was wondering what was up there.
Yeah, he looks pretty pathetic right now, but he's...
But it all has to do with his tail, huh?
Yeah, I don't know how he did it. He ran upstairs, and he was acting really weird and panting and being kind of twitchy, and then I noticed the tip of his tail was wet, and then I noticed some blood. So we ended up taking him to the emergency room, and $300 later, he's got a shaved tail and 3 staples.
Staples?
Yeah, they put staples in it.
Did he break it, or what happened?
No. They said it was just a pretty big gash, and it was big enough that the skin was kind of raised. That I'm not sure why they didn't do stitches, but the staples have been holding great, and he's doing good. So
he must have caught it in something, I guess, huh?
Something. I don't know how he did it, because we never found blood anywhere. So it's going to be a mystery.
Well,
only Bean knows.
Only Bean knows. Yes. Your whole cat family is just one big family. It's not. I mean, they all get along and so forth. Even though
they do.
Even though they're all different ages, it's a peaceful family, huh?
They do. My oldest Pirate can be kind of a brat, and when he's our fat cat, and so they're on a diet right now where they get quarter or portioned out meals daily instead of free fed, and he likes to kind of throw a tantrum when he thinks it should be dinner time, and he will kind of pick on the second oldest cat because he thinks that if he annoys me, I'll feed him, which never works, but he seems to think it will. But it's never anything big. He'll be a brat, and he'll make eye contact with me to see if I'm watching.
Well, from the pictures and the videos you have of Bean, he looks to be not only inquisitive but a very affectionate cat. He seems to love to cuddle with you and rub his head up against you and all that kind of stuff.
He's a mama's boy. He's kind of a jerk to my husband. My poor husband, he will stalk him sometimes through the house, especially at night. He'll kind of grumble at him and he'll get really sassy. He's very talkative. And there's been a few times that he'll actually try and keep my husband from coming to bed.
he wants you to all to himself, huh?
He's a mama's boy. He's good with my kids. Like, he lets them pick them up and stuff, and he's totally fine with them. But I'm definitely the favorite. But I'm kind of the favorite with all of the animals. I've always been like that, even since I was a kid. So,
well,
not a huge surprise.
Is he the leader of your pack of cats, or just?
No, I wouldn't even say he really has. They don't have too much of a pecking order. They all just kind of hang out, and they're all used to me fostering too. So after a quarantine period for any new cat, I've never had to worry about introducing them. I just kind of let said cat out into the house, and they're like, okay.
They're all kind of copacetic with the group, huh? Nobody gets picked on or anything.
Nope. Everybody gets along pretty good. When they try and play fight, Bean always gets his butt kicked, but
well, is Bean the youngest of all of them, or what?
He is. He will be 2 in April.
Oh, so he's the baby of the family then.
He's the baby.
Does that mean you spoil him more?
I do. So, I mean, I love my other boys. I spoil all of my cats, but Bean, I think probably bottle raising him too. We're just extra close. So normally, like, I have a picture of him sharing eggs with me. Normally, I would never really share food with my animals unless I'm giving them, like, say, a bit of egg after I'm done. But Bean is very spoiled. He pretty much gets what he wants.
Oh, I saw that he even has a taste for yogurt.
He loves Noosa. Yeah, that's his favorite. He'll bribe me with kisses for Noosa.
Really? He'll give you kisses in exchange for yogurt, huh?
Yeah, if I hold the yogurt like away and I say, you got to give Mom a kiss, he'll give me kisses and then look at me like, where's my yogurt? I know, I hear you. What are you doing?
Is that usual for cats to like yogurt?
I think so, because they generally will like dairy products like cheese and stuff. And I mean, they don't tolerate lactose super well, so you shouldn't feed them much, like the whole saucer of milk thing. That's not really great for them. But he gets a little bit here and there.
I know I gave my dog a little bit of yogurt because I thought it would help, settle his stomach or whatever. The same reason we eat yogurt, or at least why I eat yogurt. That kind of it helps with digestion or whatever. But all it did for my dog was make him throw it all up like 5 minutes later. So I didn't.
Oh no!
But I just think it's so cool that Bean just kind of goes with the flow and is just part of your household.
He's a good boy, at least for Mommy. I don't know about everybody else, but he's a good boy for Mama.
Wow. Well, is there anything special that your fans will see in the near future, or that just kind of the daily life and grind of being the cat?
It's mostly just kind of his daily life. We do have a surprise coming. It's going to be an addition to the household in February, but it's kind of a secret right now. But it's exciting. I will say it's going to be cat related.
So did you say a new member of your household is coming?
Yes.
Or
yes, it's cat related. It's not going to be another person, but
so he may have a new brother or sister. Is that what you're hinting at? Ah, okay.
Yes. And it's going to be a pretty unique cat, so
really?
I'm excited.
Wow.
Yes, when we get her up here, there's going to be some fun photos that we're going to do. But mostly just kind of his daily thing, and then I'm an artist too, so I do lots of Bean art.
Oh,
He's
cool.
got some stickers, and eventually I have some friends that have their own line of plushies and stuff, and I'd love to eventually make a plushie Bean with a magnetic banana.
Well, I'll tell you what I love about looking at Bean is just his color. He's this real light kind of tan beige color. It looks from the pictures. Is that right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and that's actually not all that common a color. I had a cat of that color some years ago, which is and he looked a lot like Bean too. Got short hair,
Yeah, he's
real
called,
light tan. Yeah.
he's a flame point. And then so there's Lynx point and then color point, and he would be Lynx point because he's got the stripe markings in his face, and you can see it on his body in the right light too.
Oh. Well,
When he goes out to play in the snow, that contrast with the white snow really brings it out, and it's so pretty.
Well, he's a handsome guy. All right, well, I will let you go, but thanks so much for sharing Bean's story with us, and people can follow Bean on Facebook and Instagram, right?
Yes, and then he does have a Twitter too, but that one's still fairly new.
So how do they find you on? So how do they find you on Facebook and Instagram?
Facebook is just Cat Named Bean, and then Instagram is the same, Cat Named Bean, but with a period in between those 3 words.
Well, thank you so much.